400 kilometers above Earth, attached to the International Space Station, and stuck there for now.
NASA says there's internal disagreement over how to bring home two astronauts from the International Space Station.
With the difficulties Boeing is having relative to SpaceX, the problem is they've lost a lot of capability.
Did you know the new space race has already begun? In fact, it's much closer to the finish line than you might think. So who will win? Is this an aerospace veteran like Boeing or an innovator like SpaceX? Imagine yourself as one of them. You are falling behind your competitor, but you are determined to win. You send two astronauts, Sunita and Wilmore, into space aboard the Starliner, hoping this mission will finally give you the boost you need. But it fails. Your spacecraft malfunctions and your astronauts are stranded. How will they survive? This is the story of Boeing Starliner and its crew. Since the Mercury program in the early 1960s, NASA has followed a nearly identical operating model to achieve its human spaceflight goals. From then on, NASA either used the Space Shuttle or the Russian Soyuz to send astronauts to the International Space Station. Now, NASA aims to develop new vehicles capable of carrying humans to the ISS with advanced spaceflight capabilities. Departing from its traditional model of government-owned and operated spacecraft, NASA proposed a revolutionary approach. Private companies would own and operate spacecraft, while NASA would act as a customer, purchasing flights as needed. As commercial companies focus on human transportation to and from low Earth orbit, NASA is free to concentrate on building spacecraft and rockets for deep space missions, such as Artemis. This initiative is a part of the Commercial Crew program, where NASA offers funding to support the development of these new vehicles. However, unlike previous cost-plus contracts, the new contracts are fixed price, placing the financial risk of cost overruns on the companies themselves. In 2010, Boeing unveiled its entry into NASA's Commercial Crew program with the CST-100, known as Boeing Starliner. Boeing has an extensive history of developing space exploration vehicles, having built the first stage of the Saturn V rockets and assembled the lunar roving vehicles. With its proven track record and deep expertise, Boeing was seen as well-positioned to compete for commercial spaceflight contracts. Boeing requested a sole source contract from NASA, arguing that it needed the program's full budget to successfully develop the Starliner. Within NASA, there was significant support for this approach, with many decision-makers expressing confidence in Boeing's capability and safety record. NASA's human exploration lead, William H. Justin Mayer, initially viewed Boeing Starliner proposal as stronger, but he was hesitant to award a sole source contract. The multi-year Commercial Crew program was designed to foster competition and redundancy, and he believed that selecting just one company would undermine these goals. Through his efforts, he successfully convinced NASA to secure additional funding to support two competing efforts. In September 2014, NASA announced that both Boeing and SpaceX would be awarded contracts to develop crewed spacecraft. Boeing received $4.2 billion to complete and certify the Starliner, while SpaceX received $2.6 billion to complete and certify the Crew Dragon. To receive the full contract amount, each company would need to successfully complete an abort test, an uncrewed orbital flight test, a crewed orbital flight test, and 6 crewed missions to the ISS. However, NASA would only pay for successful tests and was only required to purchase 2 crewed missions to the ISS from each company. The Boeing Starliner is a spacecraft designed to transport crew to and from the International Space Station and other low Earth orbit destinations. It consists of a reusable crew capsule and an expendable service module. Slightly larger than the Apollo Command Module or SpaceX Crew Dragon, but smaller than the Orion capsule, The Starliner can accommodate up to 7 crew members, though NASA plans to fly only 4. It can remain docked to the ISS for up to 7 months and is launched on an Atlas V rocket.
The launch of this mission was scrubbed multiple times by technical problems.
An error with the mission timing clock caused the uncrewed spaceship to burn too much fuel, forcing it into the wrong orbit.
The Starliner was originally planned to be operational in 2017, but it has faced repeated delays due to management and engineering issues. During a hot fire test in June 2018, a serious incident occurred. A design flaw in the propellant system left 4 of 8 valves open, releasing over 4,000 pounds of toxic propellant and causing a fireball that engulfed the equipment. The first uncrewed orbital flight test encountered similar issues. During the rocket separation from the spacecraft, the computers mistakenly commanded the reaction control thruster to fire far longer than intended. This consumed so much fuel that the spacecraft no longer had enough to dock with the ISS. The test was deemed a partial failure, leading to a second orbital flight test in May 2022. On June 5, NASA astronaut Sunita Williams and Barry Wilmore embarked on what was intended to be an 8-day mission to the International Space Station. This mission was originally planned as Starliner's final test before entering the regular service. The test involved launching 2 astronauts into orbit, docking with the ISS for approximately a week, and conducting additional tests while ground crews reviewed data from the launch and docking. After a review and approval of this data, the capsule would undock and return to Earth, landing in the USA about 8 days later. However, the capsule thruster malfunctioned as Starliner docked with the ISS.
Starliner has 2 unresolved issues: helium leaks and worries about small maneuvering engines that failed on the flight to the International Space Station.
Before docking, the astronauts were instructed to repeatedly fire the RCS thruster as part of a stress test, which revealed performance degradation. The spacecraft software subsequently flagged 5 thrusters as damaged and unusable. A joint NASA-Boeing team spent weeks investigating the cause of the thruster malfunctions, conducting ground tests. Despite months of efforts, NASA was unable to determine the exact cause and decided it was too risky to return its astronaut to Earth aboard the Starliner.
Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams were supposed to spend 8 days in space. NASA now says they could spend 8 months.
NASA decided to extend Williams and Wilmore's stay on the ISS, prioritizing their safety. But what were the key factors behind this decision? One of the most visceral factors was NASA's 2003 experience with the loss of 7 crew members during the ill-fated return of Space Shuttle Columbia, which included Indian-American astronaut Kalpana Chawla. If fatalities occurred on this mission, it would be seen as NASA's failure, not Boeing's. Additionally, the NASA-Boeing commercial contract is a fixed-price one, meaning the financial burden of an additional test would fall on Boeing, not NASA. Moreover, NASA has an alternative in SpaceX, an option that was not available in 2003. The decision to extend the mission was not straightforward. Boeing insisted the Starliner was in good enough condition to bring the astronaut home, but NASA disagreed. A NASA executive commented the thinking around here was that Boeing was being wildly irresponsible. This extended mission is not a major concern for astronaut Sunita Williams and Barry Wilmore, as both have extensive experience on the ISS. But the extended stay poses significant health challenges, one of the most concerning being the accelerated destruction of red blood cells, a condition known as hemolysis. During a 6-month mission, the body may be destroying up to 3 million red blood cells every second. During their extended stay, Williams and Wilmore will be integrated into the ongoing operation of the ISS as a part of Expedition 72. The expedition is expected to begin with the departure of Suez MS-26 on 11 September 2024. Expedition 72 will continue the extensive scientific research conducted aboard the ISS. NASA has announced that Williams and Wilmore will return to Earth after 8 months in February 2025 aboard SpaceX Crew Dragon.
Boeing Starliner spacecraft has successfully landed in the New Mexico desert. The capsule travelled back to Earth from the International Space Station without its crew. Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams will return to Earth in February in a SpaceX capsule after they'll have spent 8 months in orbit. NASA says both of them are in good spirits.
The SpaceX Crew 9 mission is now scheduled for late September and will carry additional cargo, including specialized Dragon spacesuit for Williams and Wilmore. To accommodate their return, SpaceX will send only 2 of the originally planned 4 astronauts, leaving space for Williams and Wilmore to return with the Crew 9 team. In 2014, NASA had awarded Boeing a $4.2 billion fixed-price contract to build Starliner, while SpaceX received $2.6 billion to develop Crew Dragon. This included 6 Boeing missions to the ISS and 14 SpaceX crewed missions to the ISS. SpaceX has already completed 13 crewed return missions, but Boeing has yet to complete its first. The Starliner also cost more per flight than the Crew Dragon, drawing criticism from NASA and other observers. The decision to use SpaceX for the rescue mission has significantly impacted Boeing. Its reputation is at rock bottom, and this situation has also created lots of tension between NASA and Boeing. Boeing's mismanagement, engineering failure, and its ignorance to address faults which arose during the testing phase has led to loss of faith in Boeing. SpaceX has rapidly innovated with reusable rockets like Falcon 9 and Starship, which drastically reduce the cost of space travel. It has successfully delivered astronauts to the ISS and has a long list of successful missions with its Falcon series of rockets. SpaceX is also aiming for deep space exploration, including mission to Mars and the Moon as a part of NASA's Artemis program, whereas Boeing is currently struggling with its Starliner, which is facing numerous delays. While Boeing is still a major player due to its long-standing partnership with NASA, SpaceX is currently dominating the new space race due to its innovation, speed, and cost-effective solution. As the race nears its end, it's clear that Boeing is not likely to win.